Hello and welcome back to my channel. You're finding me in my most humble of state. I have not put makeup on, I have barely washed my hair, but I have been reflecting on my YouTube channel. The stats came out a couple of days ago about like how my YouTube channel has gone, like they do like a YouTube wrap-up thing, and I kind of want to spend this video setting goals for next year, but also reflecting on my goals of this year. Now you will have noticed that random challenges have been kind of popping up throughout the year, and that's for a very specific reason. I did not set a goals video this year, and whilst I set one when I very first started my YouTube channel, and I think I set one the second year as well, for this, my third year, I didn't. And I did that for no particular reason other than I wanted to see what challenges kind of came up more organically, what was I interested in doing. And obviously the first year I set up some goals, I was like, I'm gonna hit 1,000 subscribers, and I barely hit 100. And then the second year I was like, I'm gonna read 300 books, and then I read 220 something, but I didn't hit 300. And I was like, I need to stop setting myself goals that are ruining reading for me. So I didn't really set any, and then I was like, I'm gonna see what goals come up organically throughout the year. And there are a couple that have been more obvious and a couple that I've kind of been discussing but I haven't openly set as a goal, but kind of more as like a milestone. So let's talk about that. Now the first one is probably the most obvious one, and that is the Revisit challenge. Now this was where I get tagged in stuff all the time, and I love it. I love when people tag me and stuff, not just because it's nice that you're thinking of me, but also because I like being able to see those challenges when people have created original tags or a tag that they're really excited about. I love getting involved. I love just being included in the conversation. Love that. Revisit was kind of a way of catching up with those because there were loads that I missed. I will be continuing on Revisit into the new year, as will my potluck wrap-ups be continuing in the new year. And I'm hoping very soon I will have a new TBR game, which is very similar to Racing Stacks, but is something that you can actually get involved with as well. I'm hoping to host a game, so that will actually mean that you will also be able to play. And if you want to use my virtual games as opposed to like a board game to create your TBR, you'll be able to do that. So they're kind of all wrapped up in the same thing. Those videos will be continuing. Equally, my TBR Vets challenge will be continuing as well, where I will actively try and read TBR Vets to move new books onto my shelf. However, that will be changing for the new year. So as last year, this year really, this year, every time I wanted to buy a new book, I would buy it and then I would have to read a TBR Vet, which was either a charity shop book, a book unhauled to me, or a book that I had had longer than 3 years, because that was my YouTube career. So it was essentially a book I bought before YouTube. Now, some of those books, if I'm using those dates that I actually bought when I started YouTube, have now become TBR Vets. And I don't want to stop buying books, but I need to slow down my buying massively, and I will get onto why in a minute. But my thought is that instead of it being a swap every book, one for one, do that. I'm going to do all of that, but for hardbacks specifically, because I don't need to be buying as many hardbacks as I have been buying. I can go back to buying paperbacks, I can do audiobooks and things like that. So it's to slow down my hardback spending because they're so much more expensive than paperbacks. I have cancelled my Illumicrate subscription, so I will not be getting any of those fancy books anymore, but I'm hoping instead to support smaller businesses that do sprayed edges and decorative book foiling, etc., and get more tailored to what I want pretty books, as opposed to just the really expensive limited edition ones, because I do like a pretty book, but I think I would rather be supporting those smaller businesses than Illumicrate and Fairy Loot. Not that they are massive businesses, but the books are very expensive for what they are, and they're beautiful, and I get really excited when I see them. And when I first started my Illumicrate thing, I got really excited to get those book boxes coming in, and now I just don't care. Those books are not books that I enjoy, so I would rather find a book that I do enjoy, I know I like, and then get a decorative copy or a decorative copy made. So that is my plan for that, and my TBR Vets challenge will be for those books rather than just standard paperbacks. So as far as like challenges from this year go, I will be carrying that on. I am still aiming for 1,000 subscribers. However, that also includes a milestone, which I've been talking about for a while, which is that I want to set up a Patreon when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Now, I am closer now than I have ever been, but I'm still 200 subscribers away. It still feels like the trajectory could get me there by March, but I've got to keep making great content. You've got to keep enjoying my content and stick around. And that is a privilege. That's something that I enjoy. I enjoy meeting that mark. And at the moment, it's growing. My channel is growing and I'm really enjoying that and I'm really happy with that. And I think once I've hit 1,000, I know I will feel more comfortable putting some content behind a paywall. I tried a vlog challenge this year and that did not really go to plan. I think my original plan was to do at least one vlog a month, and there were some months where I did one a week and there were other months where I just didn't do any at all. I was hoping to vlog over the Christmas period. That hasn't really happened, but I've got loads of B-roll, so when I come to do a vlog in January, I will probably mix it all together. I hope you don't mind that I'm doing that, but I'm trying to plan ahead better. So I have some more vlogs, I have more themed vlogs coming, and I will probably pick up weekly vlogs again at some point, but I don't want to be committing to doing a weekly vlog every week. I'm not interesting enough. Like, I'm just, my day in, day out job, I found that so many of those vlogs, I'd be like, here's something about the book. Now I need to go work, and it's like, that's fine, that's what my life is, and I'm very work orientated, but I don't really go out very much, so I feel like the themed vlogs works better. I will just try to do more of them and try and balance them with weekly vlogs and try not to take forever to do both. So that's that plan content wise, and I'm hoping that once my Patreon is up, I'll be able to do more kind of like readathons. There's a Discord readathon obviously that you'll have seen the announcement video for, so there'll be stuff like that, but plus book club stuff, free books coming through my website, discount codes, etc. But none of that will happen until I hit 1,000 subscribers. So it's kind of, I've got a mind map plan, but it's not been finely tuned yet, because there's no point trying to finely tune that until my channel is ready, until my platform is ready. And I'm really excited that it is growing and it's heading in that right direction, but it's not there yet, and that's absolutely fine. We're working towards it. Now, I did say that I needed to sort out my book buying, and I needed to work out where I was going to be spending my money on books and what kind of, sorting out my TBR basically. Now, I filmed a complete TBR at the beginning of this year, and it was in like the 300s, 400 books. That's more books than I have ever had before. Since taking on a bookshop, it's not just stock, like I am buying my own stuff all the time, and that's really dangerous. So I was talking to Olivia Catastrophe about it, and she has a very similar problem because she works in publishing. So she is constantly getting free books, she's constantly buying books. She's on a book buying ban at the moment though, and she's continuing her book buying ban, and she's a lot stronger than I am when it comes to a book buying ban. And we have basically challenged ourselves together to try and clear as many books off of our TBR shelves as possible. Now, the number that we start with doesn't matter, it's how many books we have removed from our TBR by the end of the year. And we have set ourselves up a spreadsheet to track that, because you know, that's the kind of people we are. But it is a challenge, and it is one of those things where we are being competitive about it. And actually, I'm just going to include a clip here of Olivia explaining how she feels about the challenge.
Hey, I'm Olivia Savannah, and I'm the one who's challenging Hannah to this TBR 2023 challenge. I don't know whose idea it was anymore, but I think it's going to be fun. And I thought I'll just pop on here and share a little bit about my strategy. So of course Hannah knows this. I've actually told her this boldly to her face multiple times, that on January 1st, I'm gonna look at my TBR shelf and I'm gonna shamelessly unhaul as much as I can. Anything I'm not exciting about, I'm just gonna kick straight off my TBR to give me that extra boost at the beginning of the whole challenge, so that I'll have some negative figures to get me started. And then also in January, I'm gonna read as many of the short books on my unread TBR as possible. All those graphic novels, all of those, not too many, plays and short story collections, any books that just look slim that I can race through, I'm going to do that in January. And I'm doing this because even though I'm on a buying ban, which would give me an advantage over Hannah, who is not and does love to buy a good book, I do think that she reads so much faster than me that it's going to become an issue later on down the game. And I also think she's going to do such a good job of unhauling things, and then me wanting to take them, because she unhauls very like recent and upcoming books that I haven't got the chance to get around to. However, I'm pretty good at unhauling too. I unhaul fairly regularly, and she does take from me regularly, so maybe I can sabotage her a little bit if she agrees to take some of those books. But yeah, we shall see how this goes. I'm very excited. May the best booktuber win, aka me.
Now, I think it's really sweet that Olivia thinks she's going to win this, because I when I challenge by other people, that's it. I mean, I read one book in November, like one book at a time in November because Celine suggested it. I beat Lizzie to 100 books this year. I am fueled on spite. And if I have to ruin my friendship with Olivia so that I can win and clear more books off my TBR, that's what I will do. So I'm really looking forward to clearing a whole bunch of books. Now, Olivia is concerned that I read faster than she does, which is fair, but I also read bigger books than she does. So she does have some stuff up her sleeve. I know that. I'm well aware. I'm not too worried though, because I'm so competitive that I feel like it will just see me through. But the other thing that I think will help me is I am currently on Goodreads at having read 803 books as of recording. I'm still in the process of reading like 3, and I've got maybe like 100 pages of them each to go, but I'm hoping to hit 1,000 books on my read shelf on Goodreads in 2023. So obviously at the moment that's like 197 books. Not too bad, doable. It's not quite the 300, and obviously the more books I read in December, the easier that will be for me in the new year. But I'm hoping basically to read 200 books next year so that I can hit that read goal of 1,000 books. Now, I did do a massive clear out of the books that I have read on there, because some of them I put as read because I had read passages from them for university. I've removed those. I've removed books from my want to read list that are other classics that I'm just not interested in, but I will be reading some classics. I'll be reading some fantasy, some poetry, etc., because I would love to hit that 1,000 books. But it does mean that having read 1,000 books means that it's going to be not just reading 200 books, but 200 new books that aren't already on my Goodreads, which I'm hoping will be 200 books that I've then cleared from my TBR. That's that plan. So if Olivia wants to throw away 200 books, she probably has enough that she could do that, but I'm hoping she doesn't. I'm hoping that's not her plan. So yes, I'd like to hit the 1,000 book mark and read about 200 books next year. This is a bit of a different one. I'm hoping to host some booktube meetups. Now, I know there have been loads of larger booktubers doing the holiday trips and things like that. I can't afford to go on any of them. So I'm looking, and I also know that Yauk is really tricky for people to get down to London. I'm hoping to host these up and down the country. And maybe if they do really well, even in like the Netherlands, etc., because I know there are loads of really great booktubers in the Netherlands. So that is still up in the air. I'm very much aiming to get at least 3 hosted events, which will be sponsored by my business, and essentially tickets I'm hoping will be no more than £12 to £15, and then it won't be so bad for like travel, etc. But for booktubers to meet up and collaborate and plan ahead for content they want to make and just hang out with their YouTube friends, because we spend so much time on the internet, and now that COVID is kind of being not controlled, but because we were in the process of like dealing with it, right? So we know common sense of like, okay, wear a mask when you're around lots of people, make sure that you're taking those tests, etc. I feel like it's a good time to start planning some actual meetups and actually meet people in person, because for me, the first year that I spent on BookTube was great because I was able to meet up with people. Then the second 2 years were behind COVID doors. Then I moved in with someone I met through YouTube, and it's been the best decision I ever made. And I just think I love that. I love that BookTube can bring people together. Yeah, there's clicky share, of course there is, but let's focus on the positives. It's going to be a good time, and I just think those BookTube meetups could be really special. So just know that it is on my goals list. It's something I'm working on. It's just not finalised yet. Once all the dates and stuff are kind of set, then I will let you know. Now, you will have seen again in my most recent video that the Lunar Library is now a thing as opposed to Lamentable Library. And that is because obviously with changes to Kelly's work life, she wants to still jump on the live shows, but she can't organise the events in the same way that I have time to. So that is one book club that is changing, but the other book club that I'm in is also changing. So Bevies has become Total Bollocks. Now, I love the name Total Bollocks because obviously it sounds like you're just saying total bollocks, but bollocks actually means to cause chaos and disorder, and that is absolutely what we are here for. So this, much like with Bevies, you're going to get a prompt each month, and each prompt you read a different book for. Each one of the hosts is going to host a different show for a different prompt, and everyone's going to bring a book to the list, and it means that you're walking away with a longer list of books, as opposed to everyone reading the same book and some people loving it, some people hating it. And I've always loved that idea. I definitely stole it from someone at uni, and I'm really glad that I'm able to continue it in this new way. And it's just the bevies thing, the only thing that really didn't work, the whole drink prompt, because I was awful at getting the stuff in time for the drink. So I'd end up just having like a cider or a tea, and it's like, I'm just not a forward planner. So if I am going to plan, I need to plan weeks in advance or leave it to the last minute. There is no in between. And bevies, I think, just didn't work for that reason. But the concept of us all reading a different book, I'm still very here for. So yeah, bevies is becoming total bollocks. I'm really here for it. I'm really excited that it's still going to be Lizzie, Hannah and I, but Celine and Abby have also joined. So it's going to be a really nice, big collaboration. And then we're going to have guests each month for a different prompt. I'm really here for that. Another thing that I'm co-hosting with Lizzie and Abby and Becca from Book Sanctum is we are doing a read-along of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, much like we did with Scott Agri Pleasant, we'll be starting in January, and then the live show will be probably the first week of the following month, so that you have all month to read the book, and so that you don't have to worry about like doubling up, etc. They're quite short books, but I've never read them. I've only ever listened to like audio radio clips, because obviously it was a radio show first and then a book series and then a film, and I've seen the film and I love that, and I've been really enjoying rereading Terry Pratchett. So picking up Douglas Adams is really exciting for me, and obviously we've all got very different reading tastes, but there is something about the whimsy and wonder of reading stuff like this together. I'm really excited to be doing another read along, and then it's just about planning a read along for next year. So if you've got an idea of a series you would like us to read, let me know in the comments down below. Now, I obviously have another video coming out soon, which I'm not going to spoil too much, but I have 10 series that I'm planning on starting and finishing in the new year. I am also currently reading 51 series. Now, some of those series I can't finish because the books aren't out yet, but there are at least 26 series where the books are out, and I'm just being a lazy cow. So I'm hoping to clear at least 50% of those book series. That's what I want to do. I want to clear at least 50% of them. But I'll be doing a video very soon about the series that I have started and not finished. So I'm excited for that to come out. Stepping away from my reading challenges, my next goal for myself is to self-publish my werewolf thriller. I keep telling you it's werewolves, like I haven't written it like it's meant to be a surprise, but I'm hoping for between March and May to be the time that it comes out. Now, it's not finished, and there is still loads of work that needs doing and still loads of promotional stuff that needs to happen. But my goal is to get it out around that time. And I'm really excited, but also shitting a brick that it's so different from Bridesmaid Survival Guide. Bridesmaid Survival Guide was such a gentle romance, YA. This is brutal, and it's murder, and it's adult, and it has steam, and it has violence, and it's a thriller. It's a gothic thriller. And I'm so excited for you to read it, but please go into it knowing that it's so very different from the last book that I wrote. Like, these two things are not the same. And I've even asked Lizzie, and actually I should ask Kelly as well, because she's the one editing it for me, whether they seem to read similar. And Lizzie said that if you gave her those two books with like blank author titles, she wouldn't have known. She would not have known that the same person wrote both those books. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's exciting. And yeah, it's very close to being finished. There is loads of work that needs doing. There's still loads of redrafting and stuff, but yeah, keep your eye out around March time, because that's when we'll start promoting it. I think that's the timeline I think we're on. I don't really have any kind of life goals for next year, because this year has rinsed me emotionally, physically. Like, I've really done my best to keep my head above water. And it hasn't been a struggle. I've not been at my lowest by any stretch, but it has not been the easiest either. So really, I just need to be more gentle with myself and kind of make sure that what I'm working on is sustainable, and is sustainable physically and emotionally. I do want to start going back to the gym. I need to do something more physically, because I enjoy the physicality of going to the gym and I miss that. So I am looking to go back to the gym and start working out again to get fitter as opposed to lose weight, because the way my body works, I don't really lose weight, it just moves. So this is it. This is what she's going to look like. So that's fine. I'm going to deal with that. I'll come to terms with that emotionally. But the physicality, I want to be able to walk up and down the stairs without being out of breath and stuff. I've gone from being in a house with 4 flights of stairs to being in a house with 2, and that has really impacted me. So coming back to my parents, there's like a physical difference there, which I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate that. So doing that, setting myself up, my office made a difference, but I'm sharing it with Lizzie, which means that I don't really like encroaching on her space. If she's working, I don't really want to be in there working as well, because I don't want to feel like I'm encroaching, and that's my stuff. That's nothing to do with her. But things will probably change in the new year because Lizzie's got herself a new job, so we'll see. We will see, but I'm thinking that over the next few months I will probably be coming up with some more goals, not just for 2023 but for 2024 as well, because that's the kind of person that I am. But I'm really hoping that 2023 is my social year, you know? I'm going to be 31, I turned 31 in Feb, and I think I've done enough hiding inside. I need to go outside, I need to see people, I need to be social, and then I need to find time outside of that to read 200 books. That's my plan. So let me know in the comments down below, what is a goal that you've set yourself that you're really excited about? Not necessarily one that you're nervous about or don't think you'll achieve. What's an easy win for you in 2023? Make sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to check out Waypoint, because anything you purchase from Waypoint supports me and my content. And obviously, most importantly, have a nice day.